Hi, and welcome to Lunch with Lisa, where I bring you quick and easy healthy meals. And today, we're gonna make the best baked fried chicken you'll ever have. It's Lunch with Lisa. My son and I love this chicken. It is so delicious. It just requires a few ingredients and a little bit of time, and boom, you have a bunch of chicken that you can meal prep for the week and have on hand to heat up in your oven or your air fryer. This chicken comes in at 341 calories per 4-ounce serving, which is about 33 grams of protein, 16 grams of carbs, and 16 grams of fat. For this recipe, you're gonna need this big 24-ounce bag of French's fried onions. You can find it on my Amazon store. It's really cool because it has this recipe right on the back, but I've tweaked it just a little bit to taste a little bit better. The next thing you'll wanna grab is this seasoned flour. Now you can use regular flour and season it yourself, or you can buy this already done for you so it's one less step to do. This is also in my Amazon store. And the recipe calls for 6 eggs, but I found that I had a lot left over, so I just used 4 eggs and I still had some left over, so you could probably use 3 eggs and get away with it. But if you use 4, that means you'll just have enough to get through the whole batch without having to crack another egg. And then of course, you're going to need some chicken breast. The recipe calls for 24 5-ounce portions, so I like to buy a bunch of chicken breast in bulk and weigh and measure it out to cut it down into 5-ounce sections or so. You'll end up with about 4 ounces per serving once cooked. Today I also had some chicken wings I wanted to cook up, and I wanted to see how these did in the recipe. And we'll both get to see how the chicken wings come out at the end. Go ahead and set your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Get that nice and preheated while we prep the chicken. So I'm gonna dump my whole bag of French's fried onions into a dish. I'm gonna take about a cup of this flour. I'm gonna combine the French's fried onions with the flour, and I'm gonna put some gloves on because this gets a little messy. So I'm going to crush all of this up. Now you could do this a little bit faster if you pulse it in a food processor, but this is also fun too. Just make sure you wear gloves so it doesn't get underneath your fingernails. It's pretty messy. Then of course you want to crack all your eggs into a bowl and beat them. Then you're just going to dip your chicken into the egg, and then from the egg you're going to dip it into the flour and onion mixture. I like to make sure I press it in real good, make sure the entire thing is coated. And I even like to sprinkle on a little bit right before I put it in the oven. So you want to do this to all of your chicken. Once you have this set up, it goes really fast. Well, maybe not that fast, but you know what I'm saying. You're gonna need 2 sheet pans lined with parchment paper or foil, and you're gonna lay all of your chicken out on these 2 pans. If you make this entire recipe, it's going to take 2 pans. I used 2 large half sheet pans here. You can find those in my Amazon store as well. Links are always down below. And then once you're done coating all of your chicken, if you have any leftover onions, just sprinkle it all on top. Place these both inside your oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes. If you're going to eat these the same day, you might want to cook it for a little bit longer depending on your oven. My oven runs a little bit cool, so I like to cook mine for about 25 minutes. Now the chicken wings take a little bit longer because they have so much fat still on them with the skin. So you might want to cook those for 30 to 35 minutes. Or if you undercook them in this large batch, you can put them in the fridge for later. And then when you heat them up again in your air fryer or your oven, that fat will render off and they'll become a lot more edible. But if you just cook them for 20 to 25 minutes, they're kind of rubbery and gross. So definitely cook your wings a little bit longer so they come out a little bit more crunchy. And while your chicken is cooking, I like to make sure I test it for doneness before I take it out of the oven. So I just kind of poke at it a little bit. If it's really soft still in the middle, that means it needs a little bit more time to set up. Just don't overcook your chicken because overcooked chicken is just dry and gross. So after your chicken is done, you want to pull it out and let it rest for a little bit to let it cool off. And then you should have some nice juicy chicken breast. So what I like to do is cook this in one huge batch, stick all of it into my fridge. You can pile it up in the Pyrex dish you use to mix all the ingredients together, or put it in Ziploc bags. It gets a little soggy in the fridge, so I don't recommend heating this up in your microwave because it just comes out soggy and gross and rubbery. Ugh, nobody likes microwaved fried foods. Gross. But if you cook this in your air fryer, which I love my air fryer, I have a link to it in my Amazon store. It's the Power XL. I bought it at Costco, but I can't, of course, you know, they have different air fryers there now probably. So you can find the link to this one in my Amazon store, or, you know, just pick one that you like. I love the air fryer combos. That can also be like a convection oven or a toaster oven. So it just has a lot of versatility. This one also has a grill on the bottom. Works really good. But as you can see here, they come out toasty and nice and crunchy and delicious. So don't be afraid to make a huge batch. They do reheat really well in your oven or your air fryer. And then of course, I like to eat mine with a salad or some kind of vegetable or grain or pasta. This chicken is so versatile. My son loves it. He asks me to make it all the time. He even went on my Amazon app the other day and ordered more French onions because he really wanted me to make it. And I knew he was doing it. He didn't do it without my permission, but I was like, if you want it, go ahead and order it. Here's my phone. So this portion is a little bit more than 4 ounces. I was just kind of cutting them up the other day, but I wanna weigh this out to know exactly how much I'm getting because I am counting my macros right now. This chicken is delicious. It's such a good hack, and be prepared to make it multiple times because it is that good. And if you like this recipe, make sure you check out this next one, and I'll see you in my next video. Best baked fried chicken you'll ever have. Boom, hands down. And then you should have some nice juki. It's lunch with Lisa.